All right, no spot motivation, episode 17. Finally back with another episode. No, you couldn't wait. Been checking every day. When is this post coming? When is he gonna upload next? So this one is going to be called Choosing Distraction, Spending Time versus Wasting Time. I was talking to a buddy the other day. I had this idea. There's a difference between spending money and wasting money. Time is money. Money is time. So how are we choosing to spend our time? Something productive? Reading, writing, meditating, going for a walk, leaving your phone behind in life and doing something like we used to do, not submerged in technology and electronics and overwhelming ourselves. Because the bigger difference within all of it is there isn't an ability to be productive all the time. That is a disservice. But we're conditioned to that. Work, then you get to retire for a couple years and die. All right. So part of that properly spending time is disconnecting, allowing your brain to rewire, reset, detaching, decompressing, whatever you need to do. All of these ways of being beneficial are individually intrinsic. They're based on what works for one person doesn't work for another person. But the choice to be distracted, that's a choice. There's a lot of other things. You could sit around playing video games all day and wiping Cheez-Its on your shirt, Cheetos, cheese, spraying cheese in your mouth, whatever. That's your life. Like, dude, go ahead. But you are wasting time doing that. A little bit. Maybe you're spending some time decompressing, forgetting about the world for a bit, reassessing yourself. And I realized some of this stuff recently. I was with my son and he wanted to watch Lost. I never got into Lost. Most shows appealing to popular culture don't appeal to me. And boy, do I see why. Have you ever seen Lost? How was this? I didn't even look it up because I don't want to spend any more time. It's a waste of time doing any research on this. It's the biggest show on TV. It certainly inserted itself into popular culture in a very big way. It is the worst show ever made. Like a landslide. It is the worst writing I've ever seen. Here's a scene where they're sitting on the beach and they're talking. Whoever it was, who cares who it was? They're sitting there and it's a gray sky, and then you hear some thunder. Storm's coming. Oh, is it? The storm's coming? Oh, good. Good thing we have a meteorologist on hand. Perfect. Cool. Great job. Great. Then there's another one, because of course it's this dystopian society like Walking Dead, where even more stupid, we're trying to survive in some world that's not even worth living in. All right. You can do that too. But meanwhile, here they go, let's sit down in this writer's room. You know what was a good show? Gilligan's Island. You know what else people like to watch? Survivor. You know what was a good book? Swiss Family Robinson. Oh, you know what another good movie people liked was? Jungle Book. People love desert islands. Okay, well, let's make another one. And then we'll make the main character this guy Jack, who's just this overachieving, insecure, complete waste of time that is never wrong and always has the right answer and won't listen to any form of reason because he must be right. He's a doctor, so he's got to be right. Okay. And then you get these two guys from Oz. Remember Oz? That was a good show. Another one, though. We love crime dramas, medical dramas, and survival-driven concepts. Tap into our tribal evolutionary biology to be in a world that we're kind of supposed to be living in, because the world where we're sitting in traffic every single day and inching along and submerged in seas of people is not where our brain is at. It's not how it works. We're not supposed to live like this. Maybe you live in a rural place. That's okay. That's a little more like it. But an urban environment is completely unassociated with a proper mental maintenance of the human mind, evolutionarily. Nonetheless, back to the point. So then they get the Oz guys. They get the main narrator guy who was in a wheelchair in Oz. He's Michael. Okay. Then they get this other guy, Mr. Echo, who's like the big, crazy, scary guy who's super gay on Oz because you go to prison, you can be gay or something. And he has a little stupid hat like Men on Film, like Damon Wayans on Men on Film and in Living Color. It's the same guys. I'll go. Good job, casting director, A+ too. Everybody's doing great. We got the writer's room. We got the casting director. Oh, those guys already did this. What's the difference between prison and a desert island? Just put them in there. Okay. Then I get this other guy. He's got some funny one-liners, but it's not like he came up with them. This guy Sawyer is like a print model who can talk. Okay, good. Let's make sure we appeal to the masses with like these abnormally good-looking people so everyone can feel inferior, and then they can watch the commercials and feel inferior even more about people that don't actually look like that. And even that they're better looking in the commercials or on the show, they were still given makeup. And they have nutritionists, and they have lighting, and they have special effects that make them look even better. So then they throw in these like average hot chicks. I don't know her real name. This girl, Kate. She's cute, I guess. And then Michelle Rodriguez from the Fast and Furious movies. She looks like a Shar-Pei puppy or something. She's not hot. What are we doing here? Both of them have sexy stomachs. That's it. The rest of them is just completely average. There is nothing to write home about. Meanwhile, though, let's make sure we put something in there so that any woman, especially a teen who is most appealed to this show, will feel inferior of not looking like someone who has 10 hours a day to work out and has the financial resources to eat everything a nutritionist would prefer you eat. It's unbelievable. I haven't been able to stop thinking how stupid this show is. Then they get into this. Of course, we have to throw the Bible in. The Bible. Oh yeah, I mean, what's a hit show without some biblical references? So then they have this guy Jin, who's the son of a fisherman. But he disdains his father because he's just a lowly fisherman and he's not a successful businessman like the father of the woman that he marries, who's just a complete psychopath gangster and just has people killed. But he's got a lot of money. That's the whole point, right? Capitalism. Yeah. So he just a father. But then now they're on a desert island. So his fisherman skills he was taught as a boy come in real handy because if you give a man to fish, he can eat for a day, but if you teach a man to fish, he can eat for a lifetime. Oh, so clever. Good job, you got the fishing guy. Okay. You can also shit in one hand and wish in the other. See which one fills up first. It's equally as useful information. Then they have this Mr. Echo's like this. He was a pastor, but he goes in like African poverty, and life's kind of disposable in Africa. Unfortunately, there's sad stuff in the world. There is, and it's sad. They got a rough go over there in Africa. A lot of places. Most of the world, actually. Fun fact, if you make $40,000 or more a year, you're in the top 1% of the world. This information is irrelevant if you live in Bay Area, as I do, or anywhere in California, really, or New York, or the suburbs of Seattle. A lot of places. Still expensive. But there's a lot of other countries in this world. You could take 10 grand and live the rest of your life, which is fascinating perspective shift if you think about it. So anyway, he had this rough life. He's killed some people, but he's also a priest, and his brother was a priest, so he's still very religious. And then there's this girl who has a baby, and she realizes, oh, if I gotta baptize the baby still, but can I get the baby baptized if I haven't been baptized? Not if I baptize you both. Oh, great, a double baptism in the ocean with a guy. Oh my God. It's the worst show ever. Ever. Oh. So then we really keep piling it on when they have an interweaving, interconnected scenario of every single character on this show crosses paths with someone else. Someone has a drink with Jack's dad, and then Jack's dad meets this other girl, the Michelle Rodriguez, and she's like a bodyguard because she's like a cop that killed someone in her personal life. So then she has to escape or quit the job, and then they still cover it up. And every one of them. And for some reason, there's 40 people. They keep saying there's 40 people. We have 42 people, 43 people. They kind of change it a little bit. And then every episode, you see some person that never was there. Where did they come from? There's only 40 people. We should have established who these people are. They should have at least shown their face by now. Just believe it. Don't worry about it. It's just some desert island, and everyone's trying to figure it out. So there's 8.23 billion people in the world. Billion. And all 40 of these people just cross their paths in one way or another, always, over time, everywhere. Every story, backstory about every one of them leads into someone else. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now, meanwhile, I'll give a little grace. There's some weird component to crossing paths with people in these very unique scenarios. There's this group of girls that they were from Pleasanton that my buddy in high school and a couple others were hanging out with for a little bit. I don't even remember how we met them. I saw them in Hawaii on a family vacation with my family. It's a family vacation. I had no idea they were going to be there. They didn't even remember my name. I was like, what the hell? How are we in Maui at the same time, in the same place, with absolutely no information about this? Then two people I worked with, one of them, he came up like right when I started, and you're making Facebook friends and people are socializing. And he's like, oh, you're married to my ex? And I was like, yeah, but you must be thinking of somebody else because there's no way. And he's like, yeah, she works here and does this in this department, right? I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, there's no way. So I go home and I show her, I go, do you know this guy? He's like, yeah, he used to deliver me packages. What? How is that? What? This doesn't even make sense. Now the craziest one is I'm working with this guy, older fella, end of his day, I got to take him back to a place because he's between transport. There were some unforeseen circumstances. I'm taking him back, and he's like, is your dad... My dad's name. My dad was on the radio. So I'd heard people over my life, like, familiar with him, people from the area. He was on a very big station, so I heard him. I'm like, yeah, oh yeah, he is, Is your grandpa... Blah, blah? Yeah. What? My grandpa worked for Social Security for 30 years. He is just a guy. And it turns out this fella was a masseuse at the Elks Club in Union Square in the city, where my grandpa used to go and get a massage from time to time, de-stress from the struggles of the Social Security office, I suppose. Now, I was raised Jewish, and this guy's also Jewish. And we're bus drivers. There's like 6 Jewish bus drivers ever. We're supposed to be doctors and lawyers and stuff. We already failed. And then we end up in the same place, and he knows my grandfather? He had Passover at my grandfather's house. That's weird. That's like, okay, I get it. We're trying to illuminate on the show. They're trying to illuminate it. It's a small world. It's very interesting. We're all interconnected. That's correct. It's all connected. But then I watch it. I'm like, this was the most popular show on TV. This overtook at least the American landscape for like years. People who couldn't wait to see the next week episode of this show. Oh, it's like Idiocracy. If you haven't seen Idiocracy, watch it. Because it was supposed to be funny. Just like Office Space, both of them written and directed by Mike Judge, the creator of Beavis and Butthead. And both of them are like documentaries about reality, especially Idiocracy. Terry Crews plays President Camacho. He'll relate to certain elected officials that you're probably aware of at this point. It's unbelievable. So let's circle it all around. How much of this choice of distraction are you going to be while you're frustrated in the situation you're in, sitting and complaining about circumstances you can change, but you're not changing because you're watching Lost? I don't accept that. Again, it's everyone's life. Whatever they want to do with their time, it's their time. If they consider it spending and I would consider it wasting, I'm sure they would say the same about me. I accept this. That's fair. But boy, it puts a real tough twist on understanding evolution. It's like the definitive reason of the lack of progression so many people feel. Because it's intended to be overwhelming to just simply end up then just choosing distraction. That's what all these algorithms are. That's how Facebook is engineered. It's not a causal reality. That's what they want. They want you to not think about, why am I doing this? I hate this job. I don't want to do this. And then I'm going to work till I'm like almost 70 and then get 2 years to myself before I die. And just not even think about it. Just do that. So doom scroll away and then watch Lost and wait till next week, and then also throw another show in there you can binge watch so you can just stay distracted. And we'll make sure that you don't feel like you have a choice. Cool. And then everybody stays on track with being the pawns in the chess game. That's the idea. Most people seem to subscribe to this. It's absolutely fascinating to me. Let me know what you think. Maybe I'm just on a tear about nothing. But this first episode in a while, maybe saw some other videos. If not, I wrote a book. I'll include that link in the description. It's a free audiobook. It's on this channel. I put a lot of work into it. That was the gap between the last episode and this episode. And it's something I'm very, very proud of. It's an accomplishment. It's something I've been thinking of for a very long time and overthinking. And then just finally did it. Decided I'm going to not choose distraction. I'm going to spend my time doing something I find worthwhile. And that's different for everybody. But a creative outlet is something that gets shoved aside within this pursuit of fulfillment. And then we end up feeling not fulfilled because all we're doing is things we don't want to do all day long. But that's because of choosing distraction. It makes no sense to me. Anyway, appreciate you checking out the book. If you're interested in it, it's, again, something I take a lot of pride in. It's not for everyone. give it a shot. Maybe it is. Maybe it'll have some stuff in there that helps and resonates with you. If not, no sweat. No harm, no foul. And other than that, that's this episode. Consider subscribing, please, if you haven't already. Would appreciate it. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Have a good night.